Okay, here we go. Welcome to the YPL Podcast. I'm here with Dewuan. What user are you, Dewuan?
Titans.
The brand new Titans user, the former veteran, had the Minnesota Vikings last year, brought them to one of their first playoff bursts in a long time. And Kyle, the Saints user, right? Longtime YPL player and possibly a future Hall of Famer contender. Welcome to the podcast. Here we are, and let's get into it, right? So you guys saw that team list, obviously, right? We all saw it. I'm gonna pull it up on my phone here. Is there anything that kind of jumped out to you when you saw that? Where you say, "Hey, this guy shouldn't have this, or that guy shouldn't have that." What do you think, Dewan? What do you think about that?
To be honest, I'm glad I'm not the NFC East. I think that shit is gonna be a dog fight. Like that's a toss up between who can come out the NFC East.
And
I
Kyle, what do you
think
think?
Who's all
Oh,
over
sorry,
there? I
sorry,
gotta
sorry,
see
my
this.
bad. Let
No, no,
Dewan
no,
finish. So
no, no.
sorry about that.
No, this is great. Thanks for having me. Glad to be here. We're on the precipice of Madden 22, man. Holy shit.
I know it's a humbling feeling knowing I've played Madden so long, and now I'm getting right into. I'm getting into it in the new way. Maybe the right way, maybe the wrong way. We're gonna find out.
No, like it's great to have had, a little hiatus, a little off season for the players. So it's getting to the point where now, you know, the uh the anticipation is it's tangible, right? Like we got what's the release date this year?
the 17th.
Oh shit! So we're like a week out. We're like a
Yeah.
week away from Madden Eve.
It's gonna be a big day, right? It's gonna be like a day of like, oh, let's go, and there's gonna be team play back, so no more much squad grinding. And franchise, we all love it, or at least we kind of like it. So we're gonna get back
You
into
love it, you
that.
hate it, you love to hate it. It's Madden, man, right? The
You
thing
know
you
what
Yes,
can.
sir.
you know what I'm really excited about though? The offensive defensive coordinators coming back.
There's so many new features. It seems like I just watched. Like I did a little lead up. I was like looking at okay, what changed this year, and watched a little video on YouTube. And there's quite a bit. It seemed like they finally at least tried to do some changes for franchise. So I mean, yeah, the game prep is different. It seems more focused. If you want to, try to play the Bill Belichick game where you like, oh, I'm going to take a certain player out of the game plan, right? Or no matter what, we're not going to let Lamar run or whatever you're going to focus on. It seems like a much more dialed in game prep, and it's a much more dialed in scouting leading up to that. Um, as well, not just like scouting your opponent, but then also like scouting college prospects is like more regional. Like you need to be sending out scouts to different parts of the country and like going to picking what conferences you're going to be like in the area to look at prospects with. It's I'm excited for some of the new features. I mean, as far as the team handouts or the team selections, I mean, it's there's some divisions that, like Dewan said, it's just gonna be a fucking meat grinder. Like the schedule is just gonna be ridiculous. Um, I mean, we talked about this before. Like the AFC seems light, the NFC seems talent heavy. Um, I'd be amazed if Mark didn't come out of the AFC. We'll see. That it's not like, according to Dabsky, it's not set in stone as of today or as of right now, but who knows?
You know, another thing that I'm excited about the offensive defensive coordinators as well as the AI. The AIs now will actually interact differently. So they'll actually play to their strength. So if you have a guy like a DeAndre Hopkins, he's not just going to run a seam route or an out route. He's going to run to the open spot in the field, which I think would be big, especially when it comes down to like clutch plays. Because I know it's three of us here. We've all ran into this year in Madden, where you could throw it to a wide open person, they just drop the ball, or they run the dumbest route, and you're wide open. Come on, man. But also with the offense and defensive coordinators, it actually allows you to focus on a type of player like a quarterback. You can get an offensive coordinator that can take your quarterback from a low 70 to like a 80 or 85 overall in like 1 year. The XP would be different coming into the initial player, which I think is going to be big. But the only downside is other people can steal your offensive coordinators in the offseason.
Sure. Develop like focusing on your coaching staff to shape your team the way you want.
Right. which I actually like it. It gives the user more control within a franchise that it feels like we just load in to play games and just sign players.
There's a lot more dimensions this year, it seems. I'm looking forward. I'm cautiously optimistic. Shallow, what about you?
It's definitely gonna be Madden, right? I'm not gonna give myself away and get too excited now, but I do like the fact that there's some kind of build up, right? Like it's been a long summer. Like I can't wait to get back to what I've been doing during the rest of the year. And Madden's a part of that. I play Madden. I think we all play a good deal of Madden, and we all miss it to an extent. And the new features, they seem cool. We gotta wait a little longer, but I definitely want to play it, and I want to feel it out, right? I don't want to go in there and just play blind. I want to go in there and learn the game like I did 21 and 20, 20 and 19 and so on and so forth. And you know what, guys? I just want to win, man. I want to go out there and I want to win. I want to get this team right.
There it is. Who do you have, Shallow? You got the Lions.
See, I actually attached the team list in the chat. You can download it to your browser. You can open it up. So we can all look at the team list together here. Just let me know if that works, and then I'll go on and do my thing with it. I am the Detroit Lions. Yeah, when we made this team list, I was originally going to be maybe the Washington Football Team or the Eagles, or I was going to be in the AFC East or the AFC, the NFC East. So I was bouncing between those two teams, and I talked to Mish, a couple, maybe like a week and a half ago, and he goes to me, hey, we changed the team list a little bit. We took some of your ideas, but you're Lions. I said, okay, Mish, whatever you want. At the end of the day, a guy like me who had a lot of success last year, I'm gonna have to bite the bullet and pick a not so great team, which is fine. But that's a team that I can build. I know I can.
Detroit is rough, but I mean, there's there's core pieces everywhere. No matter what team you end up with, you're gonna turn it around.
Yep. Dewuan.
Yes, sir.
You have what team are you? The Tennessee Titans. Not a bad team for you. Excited about that?
I am, but you know me, it goes against my play style. I can't just gunsling like I used to.
Now,
So,
in this case that you have the Titans, are you going to play to your weakness? Are you going to run the ball really well? Are you going to put it in Henry's hands? Or are you going to start working those receivers? And you lost your tight end right in free agency, but are you going to utilize the run game? Is what I'm saying.
what my focus is, I've already been kind of game planning. Offensively, we're gonna do a lot of what the Tennessee Titans do in real life: a lot of running, a lot of play action, and especially now that I've looked at Derrick Henry's stats, I think he's gonna get the ball a lot.
And Kyle, you got the Saints. What do you feel about that? They're in a weird position. They're not really in a win now, but I know you could make them a win now and need a little bit of. But they're so built on defense. Like, what are you thinking about all this?
We'll see. I'm not. I've been back and forth with Mish. I told him, kind of give me whoever. I'll take whoever. I think the Bengals were still on the table, and he had talked about maybe the Texans, but I thought somebody had them already.
I think Miz has them.
Yeah.
Miz, yep. So I don't know, where that's coming from. If there was going to be potentially a change with Miz, or what was going to happen. I don't know why he was bringing up the Texans, but so whether it was, whether it's the Saints or the Bengals or whoever. I mean, if it's the Saints, I had a lot of success with them at 100, but it took a year of turnaround. And without Drew Brees on the books, that helps clear up a lot of cap. There's just a lot of older players on that roster that, you're going to end up cutting. Well, if I end up with that team, I got to cut a lot of the older veterans that, are cap heavy and really not going to perform. There's young talent there too. Lattimore's a stud. CJG is a stud. There's young talent there. But yeah, the quarterback situation is a nightmare because Madden really can't make. Who's the Taysom Hill? I mean, you can't really utilize him in a way that makes sense. in Madden, like the play art for running quarterbacks. I mean, it's kind of there, but he lines up everywhere. He lines up as a gunner on punts, as a tight end, as a fullback, as a H-back, whatever. He's all over, right? Like, you can't really do that in Madden. You can't do the crazy Sean Payton offensive schemes that they really do in actual games. So it's usually, with the competition, I forget who's even in there. Misha's the Panthers.
Logan is the Falcons, and the
Logan's
last team, I've got it right here, in NFC South, JIT is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So you have the veteran presence in that division for sure. Logan's been there a long time. Mish is obviously the owner. JIT is new. He's been playing better, but you, in my opinion, are the lead runner to win the division every year. You know what I mean? And to me, I think so. What do you think, Dewuan? You think Kyle is immediate? He gets a head start in front of everybody, or do you think the division's a little closer between him, Mish, Jit, and Mish, Jit, and who else?
Logan.
Shit. Logan, yes.
I'm gonna be honest. I've only played against Kyle one time, but the one thing I remember is that defense. And if you look at that division, I feel like it's only one true offensive player in that division, which is Logan, which they should have some great battles, especially like year 2 or 3 when they really start homing their team into their skill sets. Another thing I want to touch on that Kyle said, the new Madden 22, has a revamped offensive playbook. So you could actually put Taysom Hill in certain packages. You could actually download certain packages to run with Taysom Hill. So
Okay.
It would actually like set up where you could actually play just like they play in real life. That's what I was saying about the Titans. A lot of the things I noticed about the Titans is a strong I form, run heavy offense. But I want to see how they would actually operate now, especially with Julio Jones in the mix. But the one thing I could tell you I'm excited to see from your division, I want to see how you fare with Kyle Pitts. Most linebackers are not fast enough to keep up with them. Most safeties are probably going to be too small to actually contend with a jump ball. So what is your plan towards that?
That's a great point. And so much of this, so much of what we can even talk about right at this point is so, like the way too soon predictions, the way too soon assumptions. This is great though. Like regardless of Madden or getting hyped up for Madden, it's football, right? Like football's back officially, right? Dealing with stud players like that, whether it's Julio or Kyle Pitts or whoever, it's going to depend on gameplay mechanics, right? Like Shala said, we're all kind of going to this blind. Like nobody has any idea. Like our linebacker is going to be able to jump 10 feet in the air. Are you going to have to like strafe and pivot and turn and actually cover guys and be in their back pocket? Or can you like kind of just hover over behind the defensive line and wait for the quarterback to throw? Like, will safeties and defensive backs still get the jumping animations and the extra, will they face penalties against speedier receiving weapons? Those little details are going to determine like how to, really in a real life situation, Dewuan, like if I'm coaching, I'm going to have a D end or an outside linebacker chipping that guy at the line every single play. And then the second level linebacker is going to hit him again inside 5 yards. And then there's going to be a defensive back on him after that. Now, hopefully you hit him enough times that you break him off, whatever the initial kind of route or whatever the quick read is. Because, I mean, the only way he's going to beat you is, I guess, getting behind you. But I don't know. My defense, as Shalwell knows, is not one to give up big plays most of the time. So if I'm using him, I'm looking.
Shout out DJ Shark.
Shout out. I'm looking to damage him in the first 5 yards as much as possible. Not let him get to that top speed.
So, sorry to cut you off there a little bit. I initially went into this with a few points. I think my first point would be, how did the teams get distributed? Did you think they were pretty fair? Do you think a little imbalance? I guess my question would be, specifically, what would be the most imbalanced team in terms of like the best user with the best team, the worst user with the worst team, and do you think that's fair for the league? I mean, not everyone's going to get the right chance to get the best team. Some really bad guys are going to end up with the Bengals, the Jets, or the Texans. Is there a real imbalance in this league, Kyle?
The biggest shock that we had talked about was Jawsey with what I think. I mean, I'm biased. I love the Packers, but I think in Madden, I have not looked at. Oh God, Brandon Stokes, whatever Stokes, the kid they drafted in the first, the corner that's going to play opposite Jair.
Yeah.
I have not seen his ratings at all yet, or some of the others. I know they got a center out of Ohio State that everything out of camp says that he looks really good. I don't know, again, what his Madden ratings are. Offensive line doesn't seem to be, like, unless they're below a 65 or something with a X Factor standing right in front of them, I don't think it really makes much of a difference anyway. But those were the big holes where, protect Aaron Rodgers and Kevin King getting burned. And not really in Madden, like just in actual football games. But the whole defense now, both in the game and in real life, is just they're sick. Like they're stacked, especially in Madden. And I mean, if Aaron Rodgers plays at all like he played last year with the fastest throwing animation in the game by far.
Kyle, I think we're talking about Jawsey.
Jawsey, is that who I was? Yeah, I mean, who did I say got the Packers?
Yeah.
So I just want to interrupt to say Eric Stokes is 6'1".
Yes.
He's a 71 overall, 95 speed.
Oh, shit.
you got
and I got to play him and Jerry Alexander twice a year, fellas.
And you got Savage, Amos, and Kenny Clark, and some really good,
Xavier, Zarius Smith, and Preston Smith, right? Is Preston Smith gone?
No, but Rashawn Gary's biting. Rashawn Gary is eating into his snap count, definitely.
And Dewuan, what do you think is the most imbalanced team?
Y'all gonna say I'm crazy? Mark with the Jets. It's too many assets. You don't give a guy like that many assets to grow from year one.
He's got to build a team up, though. It's not like he's getting the Buccaneers year one.
Yeah, but Mark, and by year two, he's going to have 10 first-round picks because everybody's going to be X Factor. He's just going to be trading them off. He's going to have.
It's a new year. Maybe what he did last year it will work. This is one of those things. Early predictions. If you ask me, I think Jawsey. It's a disgrace,
Jawsey
right?
Jawsey and Mark. I agree, but.
I put that in the YPL chat in Discord that Packers Jets Super Bowl year one.
Yeah, because I'm gonna be honest with you, man. What's the
you're gonna have Jawsey coming out of the NFC?
I did only because and it depends if if the game mechanics make Aaron Rodgers so overpowered like he was last year with whatever he had, gunslinger or pass lead elite, whatever he has. With that throwing motion, it's just so you can't cover that. Like with a user like Jawsey, with how he can distribute the ball, like he's good at finding the open guys or finding that little weak spot in your defense. And with how much velocity or how short of a time it takes the ball to get from point A to point B. If that's still the case this year with quarterbacks with that pass lead elite or gunslinger, any of those mechanics, if that's still in place, I don't know, man. Good luck with that defense and that quarterback throwing to my guy, 99 overall Devontae Adams and everybody else. I don't know how you stop that. So
another aspect of that is anyway. Another aspect of that is this. We saw this last year when Jawsey had the Eagles. He can run the ball. You just legit gave him a running back for his.
And he's got Aaron Jones, and some boys.
He comes pre-made, at least a 95 overall, right? Aaron Jones is not going to be bad at the game, and it's going to be a big headache for me dealing with him. But we'll make it work, right? I've never lost to Jawsey ever in my career. I don't plan on it tomorrow. But who knows what's going to happen, right? I wanted to look at the divisions. So we're aware AFC, right, is not as good as the NFC, right? Can we kind of agree on that?
Yeah,
I agree.
I talked with Mish too. He does feel that there's a little imbalance there, and I told him I felt there was a big disparity between AFC and NFC, which is why I offered to go to an AFC team, or even at least have the conversation about maybe a couple people going to AFC, just to balance the power a little, right? So I don't know if that'll ever happen or what teams would change, but I think it's still a fluid situation.
So I wanted to look at how we would rank these divisions, right? So let's take a look at the AFC first. Can you guys take a look at the team list that I sent you? Or do you have it? Do you need it? I can send it to you guys again if you need it. It should be in the chat.
It says it's not supported.
I'm
on my
going to send you
phone,
guys
my bad.
screenshots on your phone. Just go check them quickly, and we'll talk. We'll speak through it together.
I was gonna say there's some kind of file type that isn't popping up.
I'm taking the screenshot right now. Just one moment. Appreciate you guys coming out. It was a little short notice for you, Dewuan, so thank you.
Hey, I want to say one other thing. You can tell you who I think is a sleeper team out the AFC that nobody's thinking about.
Who you got?
Smokey Jim and the Chargers.
Smokey.
Shut the fuck up.
Love
I'm serious, man. Smokey and the
Serious dark
Chargers.
horse.
It really is, man. Look at his division.
Are you two check your phones? Fuck that. I don't even want to hear this shit. I
The
can't.
darkest of dark horse picks. Smokey.
Like, look at his
Jim.
division. He has Jakey Ladd.
Jakey
He
Ladd.
has-
We'll get into the predictions after this right now. I promise. But
All right.
let's take a look at these lists right now. So you
Let's
guys got
go.
them on your phones here?
I got it. Go through it.
Okay. Let's look at the AFC first. We got the AFC South, AFC North, AFC West, and AFC East, right? Let's start off with the AFC South, right? Out of the 4 divisions in the AFC, you got Lancer, Indianapolis, right? Played really well. He won a lot of games with that Panthers team. He may not be like the best user in different leagues, but in YPL, he really showed that he could win games. Right or wrong, 13 wins, 14 win seasons, multiple times in a row. You've got Dewuan, a respected user, a prospect that's really grown into himself. Limiting the turnovers, running the ball more, and we saw him make a playoff appearance that I saw him beat Jawsey in the playoffs. We got Miz in Houston. Miz has been around a long time, 2 or 3 years, and on any given day, Miz can beat you. And then Wanaka, the Cinderella story coming out of nowhere, beating the number 1 and number 2 seed in the AFC, going to the Super Bowl one year. Me and Kyle were on the receiving end of it, and hated what you want. He finds ways to win games. So that's one division to look at. The AFC North, you got Pittsburgh, Frozen, Views, Cleveland, NRads, Baltimore, and Cincinnati's CPU will find a team. AFC West is Jakey Ladd, Justin, Smokey, Jim, and Dawkins. And AFC East is Rockman, Jake, Army Guns, and Mark. So if you could rank this, Dewuan, how would you rank these 4 divisions, 1 being the best and 4th being the worst?
So I'm going to go with the most competitive division, and I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not going to go with the AFC East because I feel like
What?
I'm going to be honest. If you really put this in
I love
perspective, Mark and Army are 1 and 2 in that division. Rockman doesn't have his typical roll out of the pocket quarterback, throw to the corner wide receivers. Unless he makes some very good team threatening trades, I don't see him really contending with Mark or Army at this point. Jake,
And anything on Jake?
it depends on what Jake you get. You can get 8-8 Jake, or you can get Jake that screams Jeremy Chin and beat you by 50. It depends on what Jake you get. I've been on both sides of it. I've been on both sides of playing Jake. The most competitive division to me,
Rank him real fast for me. So Kyle can
honestly, is the AFC South, and then it would be the AFC East. The AFC West is probably going to Smokey Jim. The AFC North is probably a competitive between.
I think that's a
Frozen
very,
and
very good
NRads.
division. Frozen, Views, and NRads. You throw in one
Yeah.
more guy, kind of like a D-ski level player. That's a very good division that no one's talking about. Very underrated.
I
Hey,
agree.
Kyle. Oh, sorry. What happened to one?
I said I agree.
Now, Kyle, what do you think here? 1 through 4.
Ooh,
AFC.
Depends if I'd am inserted into that AFC North Bengals.
Right now you're the Saints. Let's not talk hypotheticals, okay?
Yep. I mean, how do you not? The East, man. I don't know. Between Mark and Army, I guess we'll see. Yeah, like Dewuan was saying, what kind of acquisitions in the first year or two Mark can make. He does, and Rockman somehow was able to get Chase Young on his team last year. So I'm not going to put anything past Rockman, other
Shout out to
than
your committee.
being able to scratch together $20 or whatever the buy-in is.
Hey, the kids got to work to get $20. It's hard in California. He's got to get a job to get $20. A job. So you've got the AFC step one, right? Pretty obvious the way you're describing it.
Assuming Rockman drums up $20 and makes it.
Whatever you see right here on paper is what we're looking at, really.
I mean, in 100 league, I took Mac Jones and threw for some kind of crazy record number of touchdowns in a tough division with Jawsy and I forget who else. We had like a pretty stacked division, but I wouldn't put Rockman is he really was not everybody can take the running quarterbacks like Lamar, like Kyler, like whoever you want to say, and really like use them to their fullest potential and really take advantage of that mobility. And Rockman's one of the people that really can like just frustrate the shit out of you with that. I'm excited to see what he does without that dimension, and if he claims to be a pocket passer when he needs to be. So we'll see.
Yep, you're right.
Jake and 8 is gonna probably be Jake and 9 after this year, I think, or whatever you want. Jake and 5.
Chill.
I don't know what to. The last time I played Jake and 8, it was a 16-game season, and he quit at halftime, down 30-something to 7. I want to say.
Yeah, he quit on me later that season in the divisional game after he beat Marcus. I was beating him 35-0 at halftime in the playoffs.
Yeah. I've got to go with. I haven't played Views enough, and I haven't played. I don't know what the fuck the AFC West is. Justin,
are you gonna fucking rank these?
East 1, South 2, North 3, West 4.
Now go on about this AFC West division. I want to hear this because it's actually kind of funny.
Who the fuck is the Chiefs? I don't even know. Justin.
The Chiefs is Eric's old friend.
The trade. He was the one that made the trade.
The DeAndre Hopkins trade.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So that is like the worst division ever created, and I love it.
Patrick Mahomes on the
Jakey
block.
Ladd, my boy Jakey Ladd. Will he show up for any games? Like he'll be like the COVID protocol team where they don't pass with enough players, so they just forfeit games.
So
yeah,
to be fair though.
So yeah, Dawkins and Smokey punch it out for a playoff spot. And
okay.
Dewuan v. Wanaka. I just don't trust I know Lancer and Miz can show up on a good day. Every dog has its day. But Dewuan, you're gonna be, I don't know, whatever the meta run scheme is, Wanaka is just going to frustrate the shit out of you with it.
He's gonna fuck you with it.
Yep.
Hey, I played against Wanaka a couple times now, and one other thing I want to add to that, if Jake Ladd could actually play his games, that Denver defense is ridiculous. He's probably a good quarterback away from actually having a legit team already pre-built. The second thing I want to say is, I play Wanaka a lot, but the same that he could have his run schemes, I can as well. And I had to face Mark twice a year. And what was the other guy named that used to be the Packers?
Via competition, right?
No, the guy before him.
Holland.
Yeah.
Holland. Yeah.
That trained me in a lot of ways.
I hear you, Dewuan. Kyle, spit it out now, my man. I want to hear it. 1 through 4, give it to me. You keep teasing me.
With AFC or NFC?
Yeah, AFC. Never gave me that AFC. I think you got cut off.
Oh, Well, I had the East 1.
Yep.
And the South 2.
Ooh, okay.
Between Dewuan and Wanaka. And I'm curious to see if Dewuan is going to stick with that power. Like, we got to see mechanics, right? Like, I remember halfway through the cycle for Madden 21, trying to put together a power run playbook. And you know me, I'm usually running option or zone, whether it's whatever, inside, outside zone and option. But the power was pretty effective last year. It's just you couldn't find a playbook full of power run. So with the additions to the playbook this year, I'll be curious to see if they have a good versatile mix of power, down block, pull the guards type runs throughout, under center, shotgun, whatever, single back, all that. And does Dewuan end up dealing Henry and or other assets for a quarterback and or receiving weapons? Like, does he bring the vertical threat to Tennessee and just say fuck this boring run game? Because it's tempting to do that sometimes, and I totally get it. We all love going deep, I think, in this team's call. Yeah, and then the AFC North 3. I mean, Frozen, we'll see. I'm thinking he will I like being Pittsburgh. We'll see what he does with them. Views is, I think, a good player. I don't know that much about him. I've seen him have good, records at the end of the season. But I don't remember playing him anytime recently. And obviously,
then obviously 4. Okay. Well, I'll make mine now, right? I think that the AFC, in terms of pure competition, like guys fighting, a lot of variety between people winning it, the division. I would say the AFC South, number 1, because I see at least 3 guys who can win the division. And the AFC South, I'll tell you why the AFC is a little different. Because you're going to have Mark come out of 10 seasons. To me, he'll win 5 of them. I don't think Rockman will pick up the juice like he would last year. It'll take some time. Jake is a throwaway. He's going to be a guy they beat up on, right? All of them are going to beat him up. And then Army Guns, I think he'll win the division maybe once or twice. I think Mark is going to be the tyrant of that division. The AFC South is way more competitive in terms of guys really having a chance to make it every other year. AFC North is a very good division, and I think that if they can get a Cincinnati user up to their level, they're going to be it's going to be a hot pot there. It's going to be fun. AFC West, obviously the worst. Let's move on now to the NFC, baby. We've got the NFC East, Big Country, Shane, Marcus, and D-Ski. NFC South, Logan, Mish, Kyle, and Jit. NFC West, Michi, Bradster, Marsh, and C Sports. And NFC North, we've got Jawsy, the Detroit Lions, myself, Jay Duel, and Luis. Kyle, take it away. What you got?
Okay, give me just 2 users here that I'm not familiar with. Jay Duel is one of them.
You want to run down?
Just 2, good, bad, in the middle, contender.
Okay. He's like Frozen, but way better.
Wait. You got something messed up. I thought Luis was Chicago. And Jawsy
Luis
was
is Chicago, yeah.
You got Jawsy in Chicago.
I thought
ignore
was
it.
Green Bay and Luis was Chicago.
Yeah, ignore it. I think someone changed it out of spite. They're still Jawsy's the Packers and Luis is the Bears.
Okay.
So don't worry about that.
And Jay Duel is the Vikings.
So Jay Duel is a lot like Frozen with the checkdowns, but his defense is real stingy. I mean, it's really hard to get a big play. It's really hard. You really got to dink and dunk and find a seam and run the ball well. And he reminds me of like the old Chicago Bears, just like real tough to get yards on. That's Jay Duel. But his offense is not that good. He'll make mistakes.
His 4-3 defense is ridiculous.
He's good as a good defensive user, right, Dewuan? Am I not kidding?
Yes. I played against him at 100 twice a year for like 5 seasons. Him and Jawsy, and that his defense is underrated.
Okay, who else did you not know, Kyle?
Big Country.
So Big Country is an interesting case, right? Big Country's a guy who came in about year 4 and played 4 seasons in YPL, something like that. And he his first couple years of the Bucks, he went off playoff berths. I think 2 playoff berths, or 1 playoff berth, a 10-win season, 11-win season, and then he slowed down real hard towards the end. Had a losing season. So I would compare him to.
Yeah, sure.
I say average offense, average defense. He's better than Mish. He's like a better version of Mish, with a worse defense. So offensively better, worse defense though. Mish has actually a pretty solid defense for the 3 quarters or whatever. He falls apart. So, yeah, that's what I think about the kid.
Is Marcus not the favorite in the East?
You tell me. We're not talking favorites here. We're talking about your ranking, right?
Okay. So
we're gonna do favorites right after this. I promise.
Gotcha. The way that you guys described the AFC, it sounded like we're not talking about who's competing for a Super Bowl. We're talking about the most competitive, every team could possibly win it type divisions.
Yeah.
That
yeah. Or the best overall divisions, that works too.
I mean, I'd be the way that you describe Jay Duel now. I mean, that NFC North is just going to be.
It's going to be tough, man. It's going to be very tough.
It's going to be a bloodbath.
It's going to be rough, man.
The South, depending on game mechanics, what play style they're going to favor. Mish and Logan could be a handful, and we'll have to wait and see. Like I said, what kind of play style the game favors to see whether I've played Logan where he is tough as shit, and it's really like one bounce one way or another that decides the game, and I've also blown him out. So it really depends. And same thing with Mish. I've played him where he's like.
We all remember that game, Kyle. We all remember that. The best game in YPL history. Cardinals. What team were you again?
I don't remember. Maybe Green Bay.
Probably. But continue.
So yeah, I mean, depending on the play style or the mechanics and what play style it favors. I mean, the West looks, I guess,
shit, right?
like another throwaway, like the AFC West.
I'll explain that later, but
and then the East, I haven't played Shane and D-Ski in a long, long time. Like, I don't know if they've gotten better, worse, indifferent. Marcus is always a tough out when he wants to be.
That's how you explain it, or when he can be, right?
And he usually turns it up in the playoffs, and he's usually in the playoffs. So I would be very surprised if Marcus wasn't in the playoffs. 2, maybe 3 teams out of the North. If you guys don't just kill each other throughout the year, there's going to be the interesting mechanic I'm looking at for some of these real, just bloodbath divisions is the fatigue and the stamina throughout the year. I'm hearing that will be more of a year-long, like, do you make your guys practice in half pads, full pads, shells only? And how much time do you split between starters and backups? How many reps do you give the reserves, right? Like, if you get out to a big lead, are you going to rest your starters and deprive them of XP? Or are you going to get them more XP, but then they're burnt out when the playoffs come around? Like, there's some real chess match and gamesmanship that needs to go into this year. And I'm really looking forward to that. From a team building and from a strategy like a long-term strategy standpoint. These divisions like you're in, I don't know if you guys are gonna play for the short term, like I gotta win my division, get into the playoffs, get to 10 wins, or I'm gonna play for the wild card and save my team to perform. I could see Marcus kind of rope-a-doping, right? And just like dogging it to the playoffs and then turning it up. Same thing with, a couple users, but as far as competitive, you guys out in the North obviously have the strength there. Like it's going to be a meat grinder of a schedule. The South, anybody could really take out anybody on any given day, and then East and West.
Dewuan, what do you think?
You want me to just rank them right now, or give my full analysis?
Give a small analysis, whatever. I'll do my own too, and rank them. Kyle did his.
Okay, so I'm gonna.
Dewuan's gonna be like, I got something crazy.
Nah,
you know why the NFC West is the best division? Something like that.
Nah. So I actually got a tie for best division out of the NFC. It's the East and the North, because both of those you have your heavy.
You can't even compare the two. It's literally night and day.
Yeah, I don't know, man, because you got your two heavy hitters that everybody is probably gonna lean on because of the teams they got. Like you gave Marcus Saquon Barkley, you gave Jazzy and Rodgers, like he said in the beginning. But
those are only one player, though. One player,
Yeah, but look at
the
what
Giants
Marcus
are. They need to rebuild on defense, and they have no offensive line.
And you look at Luis in Chicago. Luis is a dark horse too, where he can come up, he can play hella good defense, hella good offense, and lose by a wheel route from a running back.
What was it, bro? It was like the wheel route, the bunch of verticals, and he didn't even baseline his defense. He just put some random shit out there.
So that's what I'm saying. So that's up in the air. J-Do's defense is probably gonna have to be big in that division, especially with the Vikings. But the NFC East, man, between Shane, Marcus, and D-Ski, out of 10 seasons, each one of them could win at least 3. That's kind of like an even break to me. What I did notice was the NFC South. Kyle is Kyle. He's going to have his defense. Logan, his offense is going to stand there. Jit kind of got thrown into the wolves at this point. But Mish with Christian McCaffrey is going to be something different. Mish actually has a legit running back as well as he has great DBs. Dante Jackson is fast, and Jossie Horn is fast and tall. Then you got Jeremy Chin. It's already a preset defense with Brian Burns and Gross Matos. That is a legit defense. Yeah, that is – he's missing a couple small pieces from legit having a monster team. And the NFC West, I kind of got Marshall and Nebraska fighting for that every year. But if I had to rank them, NFC East, NFC North can go 1 and 2 at any point. NFC South is 3. NFC West is 4.
Okay, I like it. I think I'll do mine now. If that's cool with you guys, right? Sorry. If this is dragging on too long for you guys, I can cut it off whenever. Just let me know about this. I guess when I stop my topics, we can go on our ways. So far, it's been pretty good. I'm having fun. This is nice. This is fun. What do you guys think?
I like it. I got nowhere to be. It's up to you.
Okay. So I rank the NFC North number 1, right? I got the NFC East number 2, only because we've seen Marcus win Super Bowls. We see Shane contend in the Super Bowl, beat the number 1 ranked contender to get there against Rockman in the last one. He strung together multiple, I think 5 or 6 straight playoff berths, with a good team, obviously. Now he's got Washington, and he was never a great defensive player. So getting Washington will fill those gaps, right? Big Country has shown that he can make the playoffs and win in the regular season. And D-Ski, he's better than Jake, right? But he's not better than Shane, in my opinion. He could cause problems, though. Then I have the NFC South, 4 guys. Except for Kyle, of course. I mean, Kyle is perennial number 1, number 2 contender since he joined YPL. All respect to him. You've got 3 guys in there, Logan, Mish, and Jit, who did not have good years last year. The one thing that separates Logan, Jit, and Mish, Jit is a prospect, right? Logan and Mish are not prospects. Jit can only grow from this position. He's not stuck in the mud. And I think he'll be better this year. I think he'll be a lot better. He's going to have a very good team off the start, which he deserves, right? He didn't win a lot last year, so in theory, he should get a better team off the bat, and he'll build them well. And I think between Mish and his incompetence in offense, and Logan not being able to figure out immediately, and Jit, turning the ball over, and not winning games right away. I just think that's the least competitive because I think Kyle's going to reign there. I think Kyle's going to take the division and not look back. And then the NFC West, Michi, Bradster, Marsh, and C Sports. I think it's going to be interesting. Actually, we'll get to that right now. Actually, why not? So if we're talking about who wins these divisions and how, why not start with the NFC West? What do you think, Dewuan? Who do you think wins this NFC West?
It's between Marsh and Bradster for two reasons. I've seen Marsh. I played against Marsh with the Chiefs. I played against him with other teams that he actually had some type of a mobile quarterback. He did better with mobile quarterbacks. So him with Kyler, especially safety Blanket and DeAndre Hopkins, and then you can't forget about the two safeties that he got. But the dark horse is we just gave Bradster a 97 speed running back. Bradster with Mostert. Mostert's gonna have like 50 carries a game. So there's a dark horse in that division. With all due respect to C Sports and Michi, I think C Sport comes in third in that division, and Michi's probably coming towards the bottom of that one.
So who takes number one spot? You think year one, bang,
Year one,
coming out the gate, nice and hot.
I think Marsh.
You put money on him? Would you?
I put money on Marsh for one reason.
Theoretical money, like not real money. Just be like,
yeah,
we throw 5 Marsh for it. Okay. Kyle, what do you think? NFC West. Bradster, without a doubt.
Bradster, no, not year one. I agree with Dewuan. Marsh year one. I think Bradster will pull the normal Bradster where he guts that team for every first round pick he can get. And then by year 7, he'll be stacked. But unfortunately, yeah, year one, I agree, Marsh.
Okay. NFC South, year one, I've got Kyle, and it's easy. And you know how he does it, Dewuan? Kyle? He's going to go in there and play good defense. He's not going to turn the ball over as much as them. He's going to win games out of his division. In his division, I think he's going to whip them all. I think Logan has the best chance of beating him. And that's a Hail Mary. Because of the offensive situation. Sorry, I got cut off right there. So I think that Logan has the best chance of winning that division eventually. But right now, in the current, it's Kyle. Dewuan, what do you think?
I think it's Kyle too. Year one, definitely Kyle. And the reason I say that is because it's like he said, without Drew Brees on the books, we don't really know who's going to be a full participant in free agency right now. But he does have some assets he can build around. And if you look at all the other teams, the only other complete team is probably Carolina. And Carolina, we all know, is probably missing a quarterback.
Kyle, do you want to take this? You want to get this take, or do you want to sit out for this one? It's on you, on yourself.
I'm going to remove all doubt for Dewuan that I'm absolutely winning that fucking division year one.
That's what you like to hear, baby.
I wasn't even going to buy the game. And then Logan said, fuck Kyle. And then Jit said, fuck Kyle. And then a bunch of people said, fuck Kyle. And I was like, I wasn't going to buy this game. If y'all want to fuck around like that and just disrespect right to my face,
I love it.
What's going to happen? Alvin Kamara is going to run about 1 million routes, and whatever dope I've got at quarterback is going to throw for about 50 touchdowns.
And that's it. Case closed.
Because Michael Thomas and Alvin Kamara combined make any quarterback, whether it's Jameis or Taysom or some 60-something overall bum that can just run fast and throw in the general direction, will look like a fucking MVP.
Okay, great. Good answer. NFC North. Kyle, go ahead.
I think you're going to have a tough time getting out of there alive year one. I would not usually pick against you, Shala, but I'm going to say Jawsy year one, just because I already saw, like, Aaron Rodgers' rating going into this year was higher than it was at the start of the year last year.
Okay, that's fine.
I think, like I said, that throwing mechanic and the weapons around him and the defense and the running, and that team is like instantly stacked, ready to win now. It's going to be too tough to deal with.
Okay, Dewuan?
Yeah, I got Charles coming out year one. Like, no offense to you, but I can go ahead and say, your best option is probably to get assets year one and rebuild, which you're amazing at. But I think Jaws year one is in that division hands down.
Well, my prediction is that I'm going to take them all out. And I'm going to make them feel like, wow, I just lost to the Lions.
Hell
You're
yeah.
playing me. And none of these guys, with all respect, have any kind of resume comparable to me. I've been a champion in 2 Maddens, and I went to the Super Bowl in 3 Maddens in a row. I've won 3 last year. I went there, whatever, how many times. I'm not here to go. I don't think a team can hold me back so far. This is not the me show, but I'm not going. And all these guys who people get blown out by them. Every single one of these guys, and I blow them out. So I've lost to Luis maybe twice. J.Du I've never lost to, and Jawsy I've never lost to. I win the big game. I've got my division on lock. AFC East, Rockman, Jake, Marmy, and Mark. Who you got year one? Dewuan.
Shit. I got out of respect because I played this person 2 times a year for like 7 seasons. I got Mark, man.
Okay. Kyle?
First of all, hell yeah. You just changed my pick to you. So, AFC East. Who do we got?
Rockman, Jake. Well, Rockman is New England, Buffalo, Jake, Army, Miami, and Mark, New Jersey. New Jersey, actually. They play New Jersey.
I'm gonna go against the grain here. I'm gonna pick Army year one.
Ooh.
Any reason to that?
The Jets are missing a few more pieces, and I think Mark will go for the dev upgrades before the wins.
Okay.
So hold on. Let me just interject and say this though, Kyle. This might actually change your pick. With the offensive coordinators, as well as the way that the game scheme plays now, he could still get the dev without actually having to focus on it in game. So it's going to advance him quicker if the player is like catching like a wide receiver. If he has consecutive games like 5 or more catches, it's easier for him to get back-to-back dev games than it would be like it was in Madden 21, where you had to get like 25 catches on like 2 games before they even just considered you to be from star to superstar. So in a situation like that, if Mark actually comes out, because he has who's the running back for the Jets right now?
Ty Johnson is one to note. He's not 93 speed or so.
Yeah, so I don't think he really. Ty Johnson is going to be his second half threat, but I think he comes out, especially when he plays against like Jake and Rockman. He's going to try to probably get those vertical games going, the coverage beaters to go ahead and get his guys where they need to be, then sit back in the running game like he normally does.
It really just depends if Army gets his hands on Chris Westry. If that happens, he runs that division.
He's got Byron Jones.
Yeah, but he's not. Well, Chris Westry and Byron Jones, 2 different things. I think. My bad. Sorry, what?
I thought Byron Jones was a Dolphin.
He's a Dolphin.
Yeah, and that's right. And he is the Dolphins. I'm sorry. I was thinking of him last year as the Cowboys, but yeah. So if he gets Chris Westry to go with Xavier Howard and Byron Jones, good luck, man.
Yeah, you're right.
I think. See, a part of me thinks that Mark is going to beat everyone's ass in this division, and he's going to make Army the little brother because that's where I think Army will be. But a part of me thinks if Army can get the ball rolling early, Army is very tough to beat when he's good. He's very tough to beat. So I lead Mark, but I'm not going to be surprised when Army wins that division and beats Mark twice in a year. I've got Mark early, but later on, I think that Army will put it together and maybe even win 2 through 3, 2 through 4 seasons. We'll have to see. Interesting one here.
That'll be a great one to watch, in my opinion. Like
we're going to see many of them. Game of the week coverage, all that, right? So
yeah, for sure.
Okay, AFC West. Jakey Ladd is Denver. Justin as Kansas City. Smokey Jim as the Chargers, and Dawkins as Las Vegas. Who went last? So Dewuan, give me your pick.
I already told you Smokey. The reason I say Smokey, Justin played against him with the Reds, with the football team last year. Really not sold on his play style, especially going up against it. I'm not going to lie. You get Jakey Ladd a decent team, he can make some noise. The Denver Broncos are a decent team. The only thing that I could see hindering Jakey Ladd is the trades. He sometimes overvalues his players.
Sometimes.
That can hinder him with a team, because with as many assets he got on the Dolphins, it should be fairly easy to flip some of those to a decent running back or a decent quarterback to run that offense. But Smokey Jim with the Chargers, yeah, I got to pick Smokey, man.
All right, Kyle, what do you think?
I think you can take who's the quarterback that the Broncos drafted a year or two ago?
Drew Lock.
Drew Lock, yeah. I think he's a serviceable man quarterback that you can develop, especially if the offensive coordinator stuff lends the game to let you develop guys maybe a little easier, maybe a little quicker, or at least a little bit more predictably. I think Drew Lock I've seen guys turn him into an absolute stud. And Jake, if I had Smokey and Dawkins, and it sounds like Justin is on par with that. If I had those 6 games a year, and usually those big QB dev games always end up against division rivals, or at least that's what they did in 21. I would feast on that. I don't know if Jakey Ladd doesn't come out of that.
What the fuck are you talking about? You already had that. You had Dawkins last year and Smokey Jimmy. You beat them up for so many times. Relax.
That's what I'm saying. So if Jakey doesn't eat on those guys, and make Locke or whoever, I mean, hell, you could put whoever you want at quarterback playing in that division. But that's just my opinion. If Jake doesn't come out of that, shame on him.
I've got Jake. And I'll tell you why, because he actually wins games. I love Jim. He's a great man. Me and him play other games together and talk. But he's just not, he has a hard time picking up the pieces. He'll be better this year with more experience and a much better team and a better quarterback, and the list goes on. I think Jakey Ladd will rule that division with an iron fist, and I think he beats them all up pretty well. Jim will take 1 or 2 from him, maybe Dawkins once. Justin will never win a game.
Wow. All I'm waiting to see is the notification Patrick Mahomes has been traded for somebody like
2 first-round picks and fucking Matt Breida or some shit like that.
I'm just waiting to see it.
Like a first-round pick, Tua Tagovailoa, 81 overall star, Matt Breida, some shit like that. Oh my God.
Taysom Hill and 2 first-round picks.
Okay, this is going to be a little easier. AFC North is Pittsburgh, Frozen, Views, Cleveland, and NRADS, Baltimore. Cincinnati, we're going to ignore. So, Kyle, go ahead. Let me know what do you think. Tell me, who's going to win?
Pitt's got Najee Harris now, yeah. And did their Pro Bowl right guard retire yet or no?
What's the guy's name? DeCastro? Yeah, he's gone.
DeCastro's gone?
They cut him.
What's left of that O-line?
Young guys aren't very good. They're
Pouncey's
good in real
gone.
life.
Castro's gone. All right, everybody's gone, man. Because I know Frozen's gonna just run it, right, and check it down.
Yes. Good defense though.
Good enough for Views, because I feel like Views is gonna take that. I feel like it could go either way, but I would put it on Views.
What do you think, Dewuan?
I said this before. I think it's views, but I'm not really sold on anybody else in that division with their play style and their team. But I honestly think views probably has the safest bet.
I'm gonna take
weapons, right? Like, I mean,
Cleveland.
You guys tell me. Like, they just Peoples-Jones and Landry's good enough, and Odell,
Njoku and their offensive line, and two great running backs, and an okay quarterback that you can develop easily, and in Madden a very good defense.
Now they got Clowney to go with the fucking guy that beats people with their helmets, Garrett. Yeah.
So they're Views to me is gonna win it, and he'll lose to Frozen once or twice, and Frozen may win one divisional title in year 3 or 4, but Views are gonna beat that ass. He's gonna beat that ass. And Rads, I can't see him winning more than 7 games in the season. That's just my take. AFC South. Here we go. Last division, right? I think this is going to be the last talking point we've got. We talk small talk for a minute after this, but we've got the AFC South. Lancer as the Indianapolis Colts. Dewuan, our very own, as the Tennessee Titans. Miz as the Houston Texans. Shout out Watson, and Wanaka as the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think I'm going to go first in this one, and it's very hard to say, so I'm not. Kyle, go ahead. I'm not going.
Man.
Come on, Sean.
That's a hard no, Dewuan, like I need time to think. That's why I'm saying it's so hard.
What does Jacksonville have left in the tank if they trade CJ Henderson before the game starts? Like before
Is that a possibility?
They're talking like he's on the block.
Oh shit.
He's in talks. And I mean, obviously Trevor Lawrence, right? But like, who do they even have? Who does Trevor Lawrence have to hand it off to anymore? Or throw
that running back they drafted for them, dude. Travis Etienne.
Yeah.
Etienne. So yeah, running backs covered. Wanaka's got a good offensive line. They've got Linder, Taylor, whatever his name is. They've got a good offensive line. Good receivers. Laviska Shenault can ball. D.D. Westbrook can ball, and obviously Shark is going to be really good. And that defense, man. I'm gonna shit my pants, dude. Holy shit.
I still got Dewuan.
I like it.
I got
just really quickly because I saw some plays. Well, we only played like once or twice in the whole Madden 21 cycle, something like that. But I remember seeing. I mean, I've been playing this game a long time, Shala. You know that. I've been coaching real football a long time. I think most people in YPL know that. Coming up with interesting and unique route combinations and play concepts on offense. Not everybody has that. Dewuan has that in spades. That's what I found out last Madden. Looking at replays or like streams of either a game that we played or a game that he played against a common opponent that I was facing in the playoffs, and just wanted to get when scouts go to look at a player and they end up like finding another player when they went to scout that guy. I went to look at some guy's tendencies and then saw Dewuan making up like some of the craziest fucking plays to just scheme guys open. And it was like, holy shit, this guy is like, he's just ad-libbing. I don't know if he thought it out or just made it up or just saw something, but it worked. And for all those reasons, Dewuan.
I appreciate that, Kyle.
Okay, I'm ready now.
About life.
So it really comes down to how bad Dewuan wants to be smart and play to his team's strengths. So I've got Wanaka year 1. But if Dewuan wants it bad enough, he's going to get it, and he'll beat Dewuan in the head-to-head matchup and the others if he plays his strength. I know Dewuan gets a little crazy sometimes, gets too pass happy, and it leads him either to winning by 28 or losing by 20. You live or die by the sword. So I've got Wanaka right now, but if Dewuan can do the right things, he'll be right up there with the best of them.
I got me. I'm just like fuck all y'all. I'm joking, but I got me for one reason. I think Miz with Houston, the draft picks are going to be nice for whatever team gets Deshaun Watson. By all means, those draft picks are going to be amazing. That team is going to take a couple years to really put pieces together. And now with like it's not just like last Madden when you can just throw a bunch of money to a player and there comes out for you. Now you have influences within your coaching staff to make players want to play for certain teams, as well as Lancer. I've had a couple runs with Lancer. I'm not really too worried about him with the Colts. The main thing that would it's like Shala said, I got to play to the strength of my team, which is a power running team all the way through because Wanaka still got Miles Jack. He still got Josh Allen. He still got Clayson. He still got a lot of good defensive players. But if CJ Henderson is gone, that's a blessing to me.
I would run Henry straight at CJ Henderson every play until I hurt him.
That was going to be somewhere in the playbook or run a couple good play actions.
That was a legitimate strategy. I forget how many years ago this was, but once upon a time, the Packers had a running back that was like Brady Cakey, Spaghetti Lacey, big dude, and the Packers and the Seahawks were like the most picked teams in online head-to-head, and you just run Eddie Lacy right at Richard Sherman over and over until you hurt him, and then all of a sudden you could throw on the Legion of Boom.
Okay.
That's my tangent. There you go.
So Dewuan, so you picked Miz?
No, I picked myself.
Okay, I thought you picked Miz for a second. And then
that Houston team with the draft picks they're gonna get, 3 years he could probably build that team, but we know Miz. Miz might quit in year 2.
Yeah.
Wait, so is Deshaun traded?
He's in the talks with like 2 teams about being traded. They're trying to work something out. The Eagles are one and the Panthers are the other.
Oh boy.
Oh man. I think it's about that time, fellas. I appreciate you coming out here, Kyle. You know, it's been great, and Dewuan, you know, looking out for you. I'm gonna cut this recording now, but thank you for your time, and let's do it again sometime, right?